Hello, today we will discuss the subtraction process with mixed numbers or mixed fractional numbers. It's important to understand that mixed numbers can have either the same or different denominators. When we say equal denominators, it means they have the same value. We're only going to be working with numerators and integers. And I'm going to be talking about fractional numbers that have different denominators. In principle, the algorithm for subtracting mixed numbers with the same and with different denominators is practically the same. The only thing is that, of course, when subtracting, we need to bring our different denominators to the same denominator. And that's what we're going to talk about now. But when subtracting mixed numbers, there are some special cases which we will also highlight. But first, let's take standard examples. So let's analyze with you the subtraction of our mixed numbers with the same denominators. What should we do in this case? Let's look at the following example. How do we subtract these numbers? First, we call these numbers mixed fractional numbers or mixed numbers. How does the subtraction happen? The very first point of focus is, undoubtedly, the denominator. If the denominator remains consistent, and we are of course either adding or subtracting, we must then address the issue of fixing this denominator. But how do we go about resolving it when our integers become an obstacle? We'll work with the integers separately and the fractional numbers separately. So how do we write it down? I mean, what do? I'm going to first subtract the whole numbers, 6 minus 2, and then I'll work with the fractional numbers, which is 4/5. Minus 2/5. What does that result in? Obviously 6 minus 2 is 4, and 4/5 minus 2/5 is 2/5. 2/5. And the outcome that we achieved is a mixed number. That is, we fixed our denominator, worked with whole parts separately and with fractional parts. As a result, we got the answer. Now, let's take a look at an example where I have different denominators. What should I do in this case? And the example looks like this: 6 whole 1/3 minus 3 whole 1/4. What do we pay attention to? Since these are mixed fractional numbers and we need to subtract these numbers, this is very important. We pay attention to the denominators. We have different denominators. We know how to bring fractional numbers to the same denominator. We do that by finding the least common multiple. And I write the least common multiple. For the numbers 3 and 4, what number is that? It's the number 12. As a result, we are required to record the extra factors, so we jot them down. The quotient of 12 divided by 3 is 4. Similarly, the quotient of 12 divided by 4 is 3. Therefore, we aim to find a common denominator in order to bring all the fractions to the same value. By doing this, we can perform further calculations more easily. After obtaining the common denominator, we have 6 integer values. To achieve this, we first multiply 4 by 1 and then multiply 4 by 3 to get 4/12 minus 3 whole numbers. The same process applies for the 3/12. Now, we have an illustrative example that we can solve. To illustrate, I subtract 3 from 6, 6 minus 3 plus. And now I work with the fractional part. 4/12 minus 3/12. As the result, I end up with 6 minus 3, resulting in 3. When subtracting 4/12 from 3/12, you get 1/12. This yields a total of about 166 characters. So, for guys to subtract mixed numbers or as they call them, mixed fractions. What do? We subtract the whole part from the whole part, and we subtract the fractional part from the fractional part. And we know how to subtract fractional numbers. That is to bring them to the common denominator. This is the golden rule. Of course, there are still ways to subtract mixed numbers, but I will familiarize you with them a little later. And that's all for today. Goodbye. See you again.